I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever applies to you. Welcome back if you are new here. My name is Julia. I'm a contemporary singing specialist based in Australia, and today I am checking out a group that is new to me. They're called Face Yourself, and this is a track that only dropped really recently called Primal. Part of the reason why I'm so excited to check this out is in my last Patreon hangout, this band was suggested, and the person who suggested it said that apparently the lead singer Yasmine is the female version of Will Ramos. And as we know, Will Ramos is an absolute monster. So I am... that got my attention. I'm very excited to see how this goes. Anyways, let's get into it.
So I finally listened to Face Yourself, see what all the fuss was about it. It's good. I mean, it's good. Obviously, they have a lot of resources behind them. That's clear based on the end product. I think you guys have something compelling because it's just a little more primal. It's like a design, a fucking parasite. That's gonna make them from there to smile. Between their own minds, down with everything is the meditation. Release myself from exploitation. Free this, impulsive repression. Come on, accommodation. This is fucking over.
Okay, we're gonna pause. Oh god, I was gonna pause during that little mini breakdown, but it felt so illegal. I would have wanted to throw myself in a bag in the river, you know? Oh my god. I can see what people mean. Not gonna lie, that voice recording in the beginning being like, I can see what all the fuss is about. It was low-key calling me out in advance because I'm here. I want to see what the fuss is about. So yeah, oh my gosh, I can see why there's comparisons to Will, especially with the Schmeagol Gollum screams that we start with, but she's not just doing highs. There's some pretty hectic lows as well in there too. Let's find that section before we lose ourselves in the rest of this song. Considering how short it is, they've done a lot to keep the tension building and to keep dropping you into new musical experiences. That really took me by surprise. Anyway, looking for these lower screams. Yes, we hear those in the background, right? So we have our high little schmeagly screams. We have our mids coming through in the section leading up to what we just heard. And then here we can hear these lower little things happening. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. Oh, so yeah, I think part of that comparison is because of not only the schmeagle sound, but also the demonstration of range there. One of the things that blows people's minds the most about certain harsh vocalists is just how much range they demonstrate, the degree of variance they get in their sound, which is why I am so flippin' excited for the research that Elizabeth is doing, because they're looking down the throats of some of these incredible vocalists to see what is unique, what is happening, what are the sound sources, how are they interacting with one another. Like, it's, from a researching perspective, it is flippin' juicy. Back to Face Yourself. This is coming in flippin' strong. We are gonna listen to the end now, and I'll give final thoughts, but... all right, let's keep going.
They told me to be and to stay in my place. And yet I was coming back for your fight. Stuck in society, they don't respect me. False repetitions to fuck me over. I will no longer take any older. You're because we got it any other. All you did was make me angrier. Don't you dare think that you are any better. You miserable fuck. Your face begs to get fucking punched. Silent. There's nothing left here but suffering. You ain't shit without your fucking hold on me. Dominated. Resistant power, longer waiting. Well then, great production.
Oh my goodness. So this is 1 minute and 48 seconds long, so I just assumed that maybe I had already heard where things were going to go in the first half after the breakdown. those lows I mentioned earlier are apparently just a hint of what's to come. That is absolutely insane to hear lows that full. The tone of this, I can understand why that comparison to Will is being made, just because of how wide and deep it is. That's crazy. That is so much of what these artists do is still unknown. So for the most part, it would just be hypothesis to say what is acting in which way. We do know, however, that with harsh vocals compared to clean vocals, there's no regular oscillation of the vocal folds, meaning it's not contributing a pitch. And a lot of the distortion type sounds that we hear are from structures that are above the vocal folds. So you have your false folds, which are directly above the vocal folds. Then you have your aryepiglottic folds, which are further up in the vocal tract. You have your arytenoid cartilages, which are part of the laryngeal structure. Those can vibrate and rattle. You can have frequencies from things vibrating without touching, frequencies that happen from things that are touching. Like, it's kind of crazy, actually, just how many different parts of the vocal tract can be involved in these kinds of sounds. So when we're talking about different kinds of screams, at the moment, the easiest is to separate them into fry screams, where the vocal folds are together, but they're aperiodic, meaning they're not contributing a pitch. The air is coming through the vocal folds, and typically this means you can scream for longer because there's not as much air wastage. But then you, on the other side, you have the ones where the vocal folds are open, they're not contributing anything at all. So you lose a little bit more breath, but you get these deeper, wider sounds like what I'm hearing in her lows. And if we look at the shape that she's making with her mouth, let's go to the beginning. We can see a little bit more teeth. We have this pull back here. Everything's a little bit shorter and smaller. I mean, naturally that will contribute to the higher frequencies that we're hearing in her little schmeagle scream. But this is so different to the mouth shape that we see at the end here. Do we see how long her lips are protruding? We've seen this with other artists too. So we see the protrusion of the lips, and we see that the mouth is open. So we're essentially creating a longer shape within the mouth. So as this air is being pushed through what are essentially containers, so you have different parts of the vocal tract, each of them represent a new space. As the air is moving through each of these spaces, the size can determine what pitch it might want to take on. So bigger spaces tend to be more associated with lower pitches, smaller spaces with higher pitches. There's a whole bunch of other resonant things that can happen between formants and frequencies that have been produced by a sound source. But in this particular example, we do see that shift in the smaller mouth, smaller space, and then the lengthening here to perhaps generate that bigger space and facilitate an even deeper, beastier sound that she is making for these lows. Kind of crazy. Anyways, my mind is absolutely blown. The comparisons to Will Ramos, yes, those are going to be inevitable, but like, what a compliment. Because Will is just insane. He's actually insane as a harsh vocalist, and then now we're getting this from a female vocalist? Yasmine, holy moly. I need more. Musically, this also just like ticks all the boxes for me too. I'm in it. Grammy worth dirt, no, in it. Anyways, that is where I'm gonna leave this one today. I'm just gonna give myself a bit more time to process. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, if you liked it, please be sure to click the like button and the subscribe button if you want more videos just like this one. As usual, I hope you're staying safe, I hope you are staying healthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Holy Jesus! So it would be kind of silly for me to be like, this is exactly this, and this is exactly that. Oh, this decided to sleep. They want to see what all the fuss is about, and that's just me here making a video because I want to see what all the fuss is about. Like, yeah, okay. Me too. I want to know.